Boris uttered those terrible words, national lockdown, school closures, as a staff we all thought it would be for a couple of weeks and then we'd be back. It soon became clear that that wasn't the case, and we all started to worry about how we were going to ensure our children would continue to learn while at home for what was a very long period of time. From the very beginning, we made lots of phone calls home to check in on the children and their families, but it didn't really help us with monitoring work and progress. It suddenly hit home the massive logistical task of setting up a system where we could deliver high quality learning at a distance and also monitor the outcomes. And I'm not going to lie, it was quite overwhelming. For me personally, my spare bedroom became my office, the line between the school day became blurred with my home life, and my working week never seemed to end. Parents understandably wanted to ask questions so they could best support their children, and I was receiving messages at 10 o'clock at night. Now, this isn't because they were being unreasonable, it was more because they'd continued to work through lockdown as key workers and were supporting their children in the evening with their learning, and they needed my help and support when they couldn't do something. As a school, we wanted to support our families as much as possible, so many teachers adjusted their working day so that they could maximise the amount of time that they were available for parents. In my year group, we decided that the middle of the day was quite a quiet time, so we'd take a break at this point so that we could be available later into the evenings. I think this adaptability from our staff had a huge impact on the engagement we received, as the parents realised we'd do all that we could to make the situation work for them. We are very lucky in our school in that we work in a very supportive environment. Our head teacher called a whole school Zoom meeting fairly early on when she realised the lengths that we were all going to make sure the children received the best education they could. She made it abundantly clear that as much as she was incredibly proud of what we were achieving with our engagement figures, consistently above 90% in every year group, that we needed to make sure we kept boundaries and that our well-being needed to be considered to ensure we could continue in this manner for the long haul. She was incredibly insistent on this. Our school has a family atmosphere which pre-COVID was often commented on by visitors, and even during lockdown this was still very much apparent. Emails were regularly sent amongst us all, not to update us on work news, but just to share good bits of information on news and funny pictures to make us laugh. We developed our healthy sense of competition even more when we started recording our weekly engagement figures, with all year groups trying to outdo each other and get the highest scores. And I'm not going to lie, I might have been a little bit underhanded when I recorded a video and sent it to the parents to let them know about the competition to make sure year two came out on top. COVID has had a huge impact on our staff. At a drop of a hat, we've developed new systems for teaching and feedback, created new ways of working, improved communications amongst ourselves and with our parents, and learnt how to deliver staff training in an engaging way over Zoom. This has definitely been a challenge to our creativity. But something that is still very clear is that our school is a family. We look out for each other, not just the children, but for our colleagues and our wider community. I think COVID has actually helped us realise that, and that no matter what we have to face over the last year, including some of our own colleagues being very seriously ill, we haven't been alone through any of it, and that's really helped us through.
During the lockdown, the staff at St Nicholas Priory took on much more of a pastoral role when liaising with the children and their families. We felt that during this period we had two priorities: to engage the children in successful home learning, but to also ensure that our families were safe, happy and managing with the current restrictions. We did this in a number of ways. Every family received a phone call from a year group team member at least twice a week. In that phone call, the team member would chat to the parents, talk to the children, and they would help with any home learning questions or issues that were arising in the home. Teachers would then follow up with any queries that the parents may have had. Staff would also regularly visit family homes, at a safe distance of course, whether that was to drop off home learning packs, it could have been to check on a family we hadn't heard from that week, or just to drop in to see how families we knew were having a hard time were getting on. We became so close with the families and our community that the staff in the school became a hub for families to turn to during this period of high anxiety and instability. We were dropping off school supplies, breakfast cereals and devices. We were creating bedtime routines, daily schedules, positive behaviour charts, just to ease the strain on the parents and ensure that the children could cope with the upheaval of the school being closed. During this period, we realised that we were far more than a school. We were part of the bigger picture in our community. We built strong relationships and bonds with the parents so that they knew we were not only there for their children, but we were there for them too. We sent cards and treats home to the parents to thank them for their hard work, teaching their children in home learning. And we also wanted to let them know that they could call or message us in Class Dojo whenever they needed. What we've seen from this drive and inclusion within the community is that we've broken down some barriers. There is no longer a them and us culture. There is a we culture. We have a dialogue that's not been seen before, a trust between our families and the school. The result of this has been a higher engagement with work, a more consistent approach to behaviour strategies, and a bond that as professionals we are going to strive to upkeep. Lockdown was difficult in so many respects, but the relationships that we built during this time have been absolutely invaluable.